Okay, so this condo high-rise is actually in-game, so let's go check it out. All right, let's see what we got here. So first impressions, I like the colors. I like the orange, and then it kind of matches with this sandstone here, and then you have the grays. So good work on that. I'm guessing here you're going to put a parking garage, but this is in the flat world, so there's nothing under here. This is just the bottom of the world. I like that you use these patterns here. I think this looks really nice. I like to do this all the time. So these are actually doors, right? So you have the oak doors here, and essentially what you do is you just kind of like place one on this side. So you stand like this, place it here, and then these ones are kind of hanging off the edge, and then you just use World Edit to cut out the bottom half of the door. So yeah, just a little trick with the balconies here. If you do have World Edits, I think it's a really good addition to any skyscraper. So I'm too close. Let me fly back here a little bit. Okay, cool. So you can see that they have a distinct base, a distinct middle, and a distinct top section. So that's very good. I always advocate for that, so good work on that. I like that you have these parapets here that kind of hang out a little bit over the top. It makes it more distinct. I think that's really nice. Something you could do here is, okay, so I see you have a little bit of HVAC up here. Maybe if you wanted to, you could put some on top of here, or even down here on this gravel here. Maybe I'd also try and make the parapets a little bit taller too, because if you do have gravel up here, typically you're going to see it more in like low or mid-rise buildings. But if you do have it on top of here, I'd probably recommend bringing your parapets up a little bit higher. Parapets are just these things that sorry, there was a car going by. Parapets are just these things on the edge of your roof here, and they're used mostly for water control, but also if you have people up here, which I'm assuming it's just going to be people from maintenance, but it's always good for safety too, so it kind of acts like a railing. I appreciate that this window and these ones up top are bigger than the other ones. It signifies that you are at the top of the builds. It's very interesting. It's a nice blend of kind of these styles here. Typically, like, you're not gonna see this normally on skyscrapers, like this kind of curve right there. But honestly, I think it works. It's kind of a cool addition, if I'm being honest. And then you play with it down here too, which is really nice. So yeah, this is good work. It flows together quite well. It's nice. It's not super disruptive with these things going up on the side here. Yeah, no, it's a good build. I'm loving this landscaping down here. Then you have this green roof. Maybe try and stick with more consistent greenery colors here. I see you have like yellow, and then you have blue, and then you have pink here, then white, and then it goes back to pink, and then a little bit of orange. Probably just stick with green and then maybe one or two other colors, but try not to go too crazy with that. I think the green here is kind of impacting the feel of this area down here. It doesn't look bad. I just don't know how well it fits with this, but that's up to you. Personally, I might go with I don't know, maybe like a darker color, like a gray or a black. Okay, next up we have some townhouses by Rainy and Comrade Potates. So we'll go right here. So, oh yes, okay, I have seen these. I'm actually a really big fan of these pitched roofs here. A lot of the builds that I make in particular, I noticed this recently. I don't really use pitched roofs that often, and honestly, I should more, because they actually add quite a bit. But yeah, I think it's really nice that you have this spot right here. See how this part's a little bit different than the rest of it? So this is all very consistent. Sorry for my frames, they're dropping a little bit here. But see how they have this roof line right here, and it kind of connects to this spot. It's a different material. It kind of pokes out a little bit. But it's on the corner, and did they do it over here too? No, they did not. So one thing that you could do if you wanted to, you will see this quite often on mid-rises, is you'll have some sort of design like this, and then you'll have like the glass on the corner here. And then what they'll do is they'll actually take this, and then they'll basically just copy it on this side. Obviously, like, you don't have to, but it's just kind of a common thing that I see. It still looks good like this. I'm a big fan of it. I like that you're using this glass trick here. So what they're doing is they're taking light gray stained glass and just regular gray glass here, right? And they're just putting them side by side, so it gives the illusion of these like lines here where it looks like it's like 2 blocks tall. But just a little trick, I use this sometimes in my skyscrapers. But anyway, let's keep looking at this build. So these windows here, I like them. I'm wondering what's going on here, because you have a window overlapping with the floor, and then it not here, I guess. I feel like you could probably bump it up by 1. This one seems okay. Maybe what I would do, so see how you have this, it like connects to this this purple block down on the bottom here, and then you have these other black blocks up here. So maybe for the sake of consistency, you might think about pulling this up by 1 and then pulling this up by 1. So basically you're just taking the window and then shifting it up by 1, so you're just taking out that block. That way you can have this consistently across, and then you can block out this right here. I really like what you did with this window here. So this is jungle trapdoors here and on the side. And then again, these are glass panes with the alternating pattern here. So it gives about a half of a block worth of depth here. Then on the bottom, you just have a slab. So yeah, just a little trick. So something I'm not quite sure about is this bottom part here. When I'm walking along here, typically I might want to see something that isn't like a solid wall, I guess. I know you do have windows up here. Down here, I'm guessing this is going to be a shop. Lots of cobwebs in here. It must be an old shop. Must be vacant for a while. I like this. This is pretty cool. Sort of this like green wall. So you have vines, and then I forget what it is behind here. Sorry, I don't want to break it, but yeah, I'm sure you can find it in CubePack. This cool graffiti back here, and then all the posters here. So this here, if you take I think it's a painting, you rename it to graffiti space 1 with an anvil in CubePack, and then you put it in an item frame, then it should give you this. And then this one here, same thing, but just rename it to poster space environmental, and it'll give you those posters there. Sorry, I'm getting off track. I was talking about this, and then I went around the other side. Yeah, so these here, typically you're going to see these windows when your foundation is kind of indented into the ground, right? And then these are the windows that you'd be in the basement, and then you're looking up, and then you would see this maybe like at ground level instead. Typically, you're not really going to see these up on this level for the first floor. Maybe if you wanted to, I'm assuming these are living spaces. Yeah, because you have kind of a back deck out there, and then those stairs there. Maybe what you could do is you could make these windows a little bit bigger. Like if you wanted to make them from here down to here, and then maybe keep the bottom one, and then, I don't know, just stick some greenery or something over top of it, or like sort of a see-through fence like around here. But I don't know, it's a little bit difficult because you are right up against the sidewalk, but a bigger window, I think you could benefit from that. I appreciate the greenery here though. That's good. So let's have a look in here. Okay, a couple things. Start by doing this here. Right, I think just that little detail just makes it a lot more consistent. I'm not going to change your build. I'm going to let you do what you want because it's your build. But yeah, just a little thing. Even though it will mess up this here, it's going to make you take this out right there, like these blocks. But I think it's going to be for the best. Another option too is you could have a wall that starts here and then goes to here, and then you stack it up and down. And then, oh, what's going on here? Okay, your stairs don't align, which is really interesting, right? Because you have this one here. I'm guessing this goes up another floor. Okay, something that I would recommend, make your stairs align with each other, right? So the top one should be right here, when in reality it's right there, right? It's off by 1. So I'd probably stack that back a little bit. This is really interesting up here. I kind of like this loft, lots of skylights. That's pretty nice. Don't forget to add your railings here too. If you wanted to play around with maybe ceiling materials, like I know you're pretty tight on space here, but if you wanted to put like upside down trapdoors along this here, I think it's going to help you a lot with your design. I just noticed this this big open window here. So you're blocking it off with this right here. If you were to actually push, instead of pushing this one this way, if you push this staircase and the one below to line up with this, right? So if this right here lines up with right about here, I think it is, then you can push this back by, I think, 2 blocks, right? and then it'll be back here, and then you can have, well, leave this right here, but then when you come up here, this is going to be back to right here. So then you can have 1, 2, and then if you wanted to, you could just open this up right here, right? And then add a little railing so you can look down. And I'm assuming this is all the same unit, right? Because there's no walls or anything, so I'm guessing it's all part of the same townhouse. But then it gives you this like nice open space with this big window, and then you can kind of use this big window to your advantage on the outside and the inside. So yeah, just some small things. Oh, I see you have another one here. You could probably do the same thing if you wanted to. Just be careful if you're putting like bedrooms or bathrooms up here, because it will mess with the privacy a little bit. Another thing too, if you wanted to go with that idea, you could have it open from the bottom, like take these 6 blocks out right here, right? And then on top of here, you could pull a wall up to your next floor, right? And then this would be open right here, like all this stuff. Put a railing right here, and then in here you could have a wall, and then maybe you could like stick a bathroom back here, because the bathroom doesn't have to have a window. Bedrooms do for fire safety, but bathrooms do not. So yeah, just some ideas for you. A couple small things. Overall, it looks pretty good. Just a couple things for you. Oh, and one last thing. I'd probably make this 3 tall. I know Minecraft doors are 2 blocks tall, but since we are kind of building in more of a 1.5 to 1 scale, I'd recommend scaling it up a little bit. But yeah, overall, really good work. Nice job with the depth on this too. I really like that you used the walls and the glass panes, right, for this like tiny bit of depth. I think it looks really nice. The pitched roofs here, you did a really good job with this, both of you. And yeah, I really like these windows, but I really think that you should use them to your advantage. I do see that you have a bit of an interior here, so let's check this out. Okay, yeah, okay, so you have it a little bit more consistent. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. What's going on here? Is there supposed to be there's supposed to be another floor. How do I get up there? Oh, it's over here. Oh, they changed it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you have your railings. Okay, yeah, that's better. This is better. Yeah, okay, I like this. A nice cozy room up here. This would be a cool spot. Yeah, okay, this looks better. But again, I would probably maybe try something with this. Up to you, but yeah, just a couple suggestions. Okay, next we have a 1970s office block. Yeah, I mean, style-wise, you nailed it. A couple of things, maybe just down here, try working with glass panes instead of the full blocks here, just to give you a little bit of depth. It's going to go a long ways. Up here, I like the depth here. That's 1 block. I think that's a good amount of depth. It works pretty well. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's good. So you see what they did here? So it's basically like 2 sections of the building. So you have this main square part here. So you have the first floor and then 6 floors above. Whereas here you have the first floor and then 4. But this area back here, it's a lot more rectangular, so it kind of attaches to it. So it's a distinct section between the two, but clearly it's the same building, which is really well done. Nice job with your trees here too. It gives a nice scale to the building. One thing I might recommend with your trees, try and make them a little bit more fluffy, I guess. Maybe play around with some materials, but yeah, they're not too bad. I'm not sure if you're the one working on the city around it too, but over here, maybe I would add curbs, or if you wanted to, you could lower this entire pavement area by 1 block. You could add some trees along here and along this here. It's going to give you a lot more shade for your parked cars and also for the people that get in and out of those cars. But yeah, nice work. I really like the logo up here. I think it fits really well. And Mies van der Rohe inspired office tower. Ooh, I love this. I built so many of these too. I love this. Is that the same logo as the other one? OTS. I think so. If we go back to this one, I think it might be. And yes, it makes sense because that is by the same person. But yeah, really well done with this. You can see that they have this block up here where the floors don't continue all the way to the top. So you have all your HVAC equipment up here. So if you were to look down, you're going to see all these little like spinning things and all this mechanical equipment. It looks pretty complicated. A lot of it is. So it's kind of hard to dissect. But yeah, so that's why you kind of leave this spot at the top. You have a division right here, which is very nice. It helps even up the skyscraper, makes it easier to look at. And you have this nice area on the bottom here. Lots of glass down here with this glass lobby, these big pillars. This looks awesome. Yeah, you nailed this. This looks incredible. We have some insurance offices right beside that other one that we just checked out. This is nice. I like this. It's pretty similar to this one. It looks like a handful of material changes. and just some slight edits here. So you have this one here in terms of your breaks, this one down here, and then this nice open area at the bottom. I don't know why, but I love these towers. Then here's a second one here by the same person. Yeah, that's really cool. Ooh, this looks like it's Build the Earth, maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Beautiful buildings. Look at that. Oh, I love the arches. Oh, it feels very New York. I love it. The New York World Building, the New York Tribune Building, and the New York Press Club Building. That's really cool. I love that. I love when you're making buildings, and instead of just having a flat facade right here, what you can do is actually you can indent it, and then you can have these cool bars going across. The scale is really cool. I love it. It's these nice little row homes down here, first floor shops. It's very inviting for the people walking along here. And it sort of builds up as you go backwards and gets taller and taller. Really cool shot at night here too. Yeah, no, that looks awesome. We have this cool futuristic city. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm not super into futuristic cities, so I can't comment too much on this. But yeah, no, I like it. It looks nice and complex, which it makes it a lot more fun to explore. So that's good. You have lots of decorations. It's not too bland. It's, yeah, no, I like it. Nice color coordination too, right? It's mostly white, and then you have this sort of teal or a cyan, and then you blend it in with the purples and pinks. Okay, next we have a modern high-rise by Margin 29M. So we'll check this out. Interesting. Okay, so what they're doing is they're kind of playing off of like these older styles that are kind of like part of the building envelope, which is really interesting. So I think this was zoned just for like an alleyway, but you see what they did? So they actually built over top of it, which is a really good use of space. So it's a really interesting build. See how they kind of like played off the pitched roofs down there and used it up here? It's really cool. I like this double line. That's really interesting. Yeah, this is it's a really interesting concept. I think it looks pretty cool. So, okay, let's start at the bottom and then we'll work our way back up. So see how they have a different color here at the bottom compared to the rest of it? So this kind of signifies that, hey, you're at the bottom. And then when you look up, you can see this like the white part of the tower. So you can clearly differentiate between like the base and like kind of the midsection. You can tell that it is the top because of these things here. I don't know, it's throwing me off a little bit because I've never seen anything like it. I think it's an interesting concept. Okay, I see. Okay, I was going to make a comment about how I think the top should be a little bit more different, but I see you stopped the balconies going up. So that's good. That does differentiate a little bit. And then you have these lines going all the way across, so that's also really good. Nice sized balcony here. This is it's a good size. I like the concept. I like that the material color is relatively consistent, right? You have these darker colors down here and then it kind of swaps going up. And I like that the windows are the same material, basically going all the way up, right? You're using this orange stained glass here. But yeah, it's not a bad build. It's just something I typically wouldn't see. Oh, whoops. Okay, so that was actually this one. That makes sense. Okay, cottage style. Right, okay, that makes more sense because modern, it didn't really look super modern, but yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from now. I just wrote in the wrong coordinates. So yeah, okay, it does meet the more, cottage style. Okay, that makes sense. So I believe I checked this building out in the other video, but we're gonna have a quick look at it again. So nice designs here. It's very subtle. It's cool logo on here too. Looks great. Very nice. I love these shader shots, being able to see right through it. This is using CubePack, which you can get using the link in the description. You need Optifine version 1.14.4 for Java, otherwise it will not work. So this is an office building, and you can see they divided the space with this glass here, which is really well done. They have a little bit of depth in the ceiling with these lights here, so that's very well done. Nice spot here. You have these bookshelves back here, and then sort of this office or meeting area. Little break spot for lunch here, and then maybe another meeting room back here. Yeah, no, that looks great. I also really like that they sketched it out like this. This is very helpful when you're trying to plan complex builds like this. So I'm guessing that this solid blue here are solid walls. And then you can see they have the furniture, and then the little green here is like chairs, stuff like that. You can see they have a staircase here, which is very nice. Your elevators. Yeah, no, that's really well done. And along the edge here, you can see that they have these glass panes that are sticking out. The purpose of this is just to have it go up the side, so it gives you a lot more verticality in your design. It's a nice touch, and it makes it so that if you're on the ground and you're looking at the building, it's going to draw your eyes up. Okay, so that was the first tower, and the second tower is this one. So I think I showed this in my first video. It's very cool. I love this triangular design. I think we've seen this screenshot. It looks very cool. And then here's the inside. So very nicely decorated. Cube pack, you can do quite a bit with it if you are on Java. And coffee maker, nice plates, little spot for seating. Nice job with the lighting here. It's not super bland, so it works pretty well. And you have your cubicles kind of in here. Maybe not cubicles, just kind of workstations. Very nice. The occasional plants to liven the place up. Yeah, no, it looks great. And then here is the full version. Yeah, I think it looks great. Yeah, that's some really good work. Okay, we have this building here. I'm not super familiar with the style, but it does look really cool. I really do like that. One thing I do notice with these buildings is that they have this down here. So they have these horizontal elements on the bottom floor here, and it tends to be quite a bit larger. Very nice. I like the arches. That looks very good. And then up here, it tends to be a lot more vertical. So for these top 2 floors, see you have these columns going up here, right? Whereas down here, they do not continue down. It's very side to side. And then even with these windows here, you can see they have the vertical elements going up here. It emphasizes a horizontal line going across here, right? With these ones. Same thing here. And then it's very symmetrical. I really like that. The nice pitched roofs are a nice touch. I really like this. Colors are spot on. I wouldn't change a thing. And I love the little details up here. It adds so much to a build. And yeah, no, I think it looks awesome. Here's another angle. You can see they have maybe little planters down here. Maybe they're going to add some greenery. Yeah, no, it looks great. Okay, so we have a city here. This looks really cool. Wow. I love buildings that incorporate domes on them. That looks awesome. I like when you include little gardens like this here too. And then you have kind of the stairs going up to the main floor. I think that looks great. So as a part of the same city, we have this skyscraper. Ooh, I really like that. That's actually really clean. The proportions on this are fantastic. See, you have the bottom third here, which is more of the mid-rise height, so it lines up with this one here. And then you have the rest of it that goes up here, which is the other 2/3. You have your vertical elements going up here. You have your breaks here, here, and here. And then you have this really big parapet up here, which I really appreciate. You can hide your HVAC equipment kind of back in here. And then instead of just having the same design on this side, what they did is they added these floors here, which I think is a really nice addition to it. And it also matches this right here. So it feels like it's being pulled through and then pushed up, which is a very nice touch. A couple more builds here. This looks very, very nice. I like it. You can distinctly tell that this is the top of the building, which I very much appreciate. And then same thing with this here. You can clearly tell that this is the top of the building, and you have sort of these minor setbacks as you go up, but it actually adds quite a bit to your build. So you have these builds by the same person, I'm presuming in the same city. But it's very, very nice. I like the bay windows. That's very West Coast. It's a very nice addition. And occasionally with these builds, you will see stuff like this where the design pretty much completely changes for the top couple of floors. And then you will have this part here that kind of goes out here. So the purpose of this is to protect the facade from rain. I know it's pretty hard to do it for the whole thing, but if you can protect a little bit, it's going to help you quite a bit. And then another view down here. I love this down here. This is very, very nice. I like how this matches sort of the style at the top. That's a very nice touch. Shops down here, you have seating. Yeah, that looks great. And then one last shot here of the whole thing. Yeah, I love this build. This is, yeah, no, I love it. Oh, also another little thing that I saw. It's not on this build. It's on this one here. I love doing this. See what they did with their windows? So they have this flat facade, and then they have a full block here. They have 1, 2, and then they use trapdoors. They pull them down. And then this one here, this is either a stair or a slab. I think it's a stair. So it looks like you have sort of an edge here, and then it goes inwards. And then you put your glass 1 block back. So then these walls are actually too thick. It's a nice touch. It gives it a little bit more depth, and it makes your city overall a little bit more complex, which is, you know, a good thing. It makes it more interesting to explore. Okay, next up we have another city. This is very cool. I like that. Your roads are very wide. Maybe I would try and add some bike lanes. But in terms of the buildings, they look pretty cool. I can see that you have sort of the mid-rise area here, and then this is more of the high-rise. Even though the overall feel of the buildings is a little bit lower compared to the last city that we just saw. But of course, it's all dependent on your city, so this here is perfect. I like the use of vertical elements here. Very nice, draw the eye upwards. You have your horizontal elements, so it adds some consistency. And by adding this top part on here, you can clearly tell that this is the top of the building. I like the use of trees. That's very nice. Maybe in here, I'm not sure what's in here, but maybe you could add more trees here. I like these bushy trees. It would be nice if you added more of them, like maybe in these green spaces here. These big bushy trees, it's going to give you a lot more of a green feeling to your city, and it's just going to make it a little bit nicer. Parking garage back here, that looks good. You have these little areas in here, little water fountain, nice decorations. With the sidewalk, I'd probably lower this by 1. So yeah, I think overall it looks pretty good. I'd probably add some bike lanes in here, and then if you wanted to change maybe this outside lane on either side to a bus lane, you don't have to do it on every street, but maybe once every couple blocks. It's going to give you a lot more access to public transportation. So that's the first picture. We have 3 pictures. Here's another one. Recreation of the MetLife building in New York City. That's pretty cool. I like these builds. Very cool. And then this last one here, you know, you have a bit of action going on in your city. That's always a fun thing to add. So I guess it caught on fire here. So good thing you have a fire truck to put it out. Okay, so here's another city. So far there's only 2 buildings, 2 high rises. So this is cool. I like that. I like the balconies. Balconies are always a nice touch for cities to make them a little bit more complicated, especially in residential buildings. If you live in a condo, you're probably going to want a balcony so that you don't feel trapped inside all the time. I might suggest maybe adding more vertical elements just kind of on this glass, maybe like 1, 2, 3, and then just bring it all the way up. But other than that, your shape is good. The colors are good. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Next one here, this one's a little bit harder to see. I can't comment too much on it. Just a tip for your next screenshots, try getting in a little bit closer. And to be able to see the details through the glass, I might recommend turning off shaders. It's a really cool building here. That looks awesome. I love the roof. These are really cool. So I see these occasionally on similar builds. So this thing up here, it looks like a railing. I don't actually know what it is. If you guys know, can you tell me in the comments? But yeah, I love the arches. I love these little spires here. Those look really cool. Yeah, no, it's an awesome build. So it's based on this place in Budapest. Hey Alpine, this is a 1.5 to 1 scale recreation of a street in Forest Hill, Queens, New York, near the Long Island Railroad Station. Nice. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, I like this. Not sure what's going on with your tree back here, but I'm assuming that's a work in progress. I love bridges like this. This is really awesome. You have the little pedestrian area in here going through here. Nice textured roads. That looks awesome. Cool trees. And I love that you have these nice shops down here. It's really engaging for the people walking and exploring your city. Here's another picture. You have this cool car out front and then all these crazy shops. That's really cool. I love this area back here where you have these stairs going up here. It's always nice to add little pockets in your city. I appreciate that you have the parapets up top. That's very important. And cool signs. Lots of little details. It's a fun city to explore. Okay, next up we have St. Peter's Basilica and Square. This is crazy. That's really cool. Wow. I love the dome up top. It honestly looks like 3 separate builds that were kind of put together. So you have this part down here, which is the darker sandstone color. You have this part up here with the domes, well, this big dome and then the 2 small ones. And then you have these sort of arches that kind of curve around this way. This looks really cool. I love the reflections too. This was really well done. Here's a second view of it. This looks really cool. I love the textures down here. Yeah, that looks awesome. This must have taken forever. That's a lot of work. And then here's the last view here. It's extremely impressive. I am very impressed. Okay, so we have some towers here. So I'm assuming these are condo towers, and then these might look a little more like office towers. So I see you're going more for the design style. The designs look pretty cool. I might suggest maybe trying to add a little bit more realism in there. So I see that they're blank right now. I'm assuming they're unfinished. But if you wanted to, you could add a shear wall in the middle for your elevators and stairs. A shear wall is just a concrete box, basically, where you have your elevators, your stairs, and your mechanical and electrical equipment that has to go between floors. And then maybe you could add some columns going through floors where they would connect. And of course, don't forget to make it look like there's a distinct base, middle, and top section. So you definitely have the main pattern down. Just make sure that the top is distinct and the bottom is as well. But I like the design. I like that there's little greenery on the edges here. This one's cool. That's a very interesting build. Same comments as the last one, but in terms of the design, I like it. And this build here, I feel like you could probably cut it in about half because these seem to be more of the builds that would want to stick out, I guess. And then this is just kind of a supporting build. So probably cut it maybe about here or a little bit lower. Make sure you have the top section. So, you know, maybe cut out the top floor. If this was your top floor, cut it out. And then extend this up, make some parapets, and add your mechanical equipment on top. And again, for the bottom, just change this up a little bit so that it fits more into the context of your city. Okay, I want to check out this one because I've seen pictures of it. So it's just right down the street. That's the other one that we were looking at, and this is the new one. So this was built by the same person. I think I've seen some screenshots. I think I took a couple of them myself just for some promotional images. But I really do like this tower. I'm just going to back up here a little bit. Okay, so big thing when you're making a skyscraper, you need three things, right? You need to be able to differentiate between the base of your tower, the middle section, and your top, right? So down here, we can see that we have these 3 floors, and then there's kind of a cut and a setback going inwards. And then we have a divider that's kind of in the middle here with this, big open space, which is nice. These columns here, which are walls. And then you have this middle section, which is relatively consistent going up with a couple minor changes. So you have this wall right here that comes down and then it switches to glass. So it creates this kind of like snake pattern going down the side. It's very subtle, right? It's going from like here and then it goes all the way down here. It stops, it goes across, see, and then the wall continues on this side on that edge there and then goes down and then just cuts back across. And then, yeah, it just kind of stops right there and then just keeps going back down to the bottom. So within a lot of modern buildings, you will notice that it may not look consistent, but the more you look at it, the more patterns you will notice. And that's especially true for this tower. And I think that's really interesting. And I think he did a really good job with this. I really like the material choice. I think the sort of brown reddish bricks work very, very well. It works really well with this shade of gray here. And I really like that you're using this alternating glass here just to give it some vertical elements. So it kind of draws the eyes upwards because you have quite a bit of side to side going on with the balconies there. So it's going to draw the eye back and forth. But once you start to introduce that glass, see, it kind of starts to draw your eyes upwards if you kind of read between the lines. Nice work with these walls here. It's a good spot for them. Brings the eye upwards, which is nice. I like this greenery up top. And I love all the setbacks that you've done, right? You have these ones down here, and then it comes up, and then you pull it out a little bit, and then you keep going up. See how he kind of uses the, let's see, more of a three quarters rule, I guess you'd probably call it. So from here to here is about 75% of the height, all this, and then this is the last 25% up top. So for this section, you decided to pull this out, cut these windows off here, which was a good choice, right? So notice how this line lines up with this. So the pattern with these two is consistent going all the way up here. So that's a good place to cut it. Great choice bringing this glass around here and then using that to kind of mirror this up top. And this is the same size. I really like that. This is a really nice addition up top too. This would be a really nice penthouse. I would love to live up here. Nice greenery, this nice wraparound balcony. All these nice windows. And then of course, can't forget your overruns. You can't forget all your HVAC. And then your light up top. Yeah, this is a really nice build. I'm not gonna go inside because I don't want to spend too much time. But here's a sneak peek. That's what it looks like. But yeah, this is a really nice build. I really like this build. Here's a cool build. I really like this one. I love builds like this. I was recently in Vancouver and they have a lot of ones that look somewhat similar to this, maybe with more balconies. Oh, I guess you have balconies back here. I really like this. So you have these nice windows. They're not super overwhelming or anything. They're a good size. You can see the splits between the floors. And then occasionally you have these areas here that kind of jet out or indent inwards. So it adds some complexity to your build. You have a distinct top section, and then you have a distinct shop down here, which tells me that this is the base of the building. You're not going too crazy with the depth or anything, so yeah, no, this is a really good build. And then continuing on from that, it's a part of this city, so here's some more builds in it. The styles are definitely different compared to the other one, but it's cool, of course. I mean, it's Minecraft, you can do whatever you want. Cool statue, I like that. Oh, everything has full interior. Oh, it's mobile, yes, aha. I actually started on Pocket Edition back in 2012. I played it for 2 years because I couldn't afford my own PC. I eventually saved up like $450 by the time I was 14, and I spent it on my first desktop computer where I could get Java. And from there I started building on World of Corellis, and then I switched over to Cubed about 2 years later, and I've been building there ever since. So when I hear people talk about Pocket Edition, or I guess it's called Bedrock now, I don't know what it's called anymore, but trust me, I know how annoying it is. I know how frustrating it is not to have world edit or the textures or any of the tools that any of the Java players have. But I have serious respect for people who do this on mobile. But yeah, now that I know that this is built on mobile, this is honestly even more impressive. I love the color coordination in here. This looks awesome. Yeah, you guys did a great job, seriously. All right, we have a hospital. It's very cool. I like the night shot, the night sky. That's kind of nice. Maybe I'd try and incorporate maybe some like handicap parking or something like that. If you wanted to, this is a pretty big parking lot. You could probably change maybe about a quarter of it or like a third of it into like a bus loop. That way other people that live in your city that don't have cars can take the bus, and then it kind of becomes a major stop. Here's the shot in the day. I like that you textured the pavement here. That's a very nice addition. Nice HVAC up top here. Nice sized trees. That looks good. It really does look like a hospital. You did a really good job. Shot from above, you have the helipad. Very nice. You have your stair over run. Very, very nice. And I really like that you have different wings of this hospital. I think it's pretty cool. If you wanted to, you have quite a bit of parking. And then I see that you have this other spot down here. If you wanted to, you could honestly probably take all of this out and then just turn it into like a little green space or something, but it's your build. It's up to you. So next up we have this neighborhood, and we have a couple of houses here, and I think this one is the only complete one so far. So you have this back area here. Nice spot for nature. It's always nice to have these kind of grass strips. Little stream running through. That's a nice addition. It's nice that people are able to walk on the edge here. I don't know if you have any down here, but if you wanted to add maybe a little arched bridge, like a very shallow arch over top of here, I think that'd be nice. Some more angles of the greenery here. And then there's this nice fence here. It's kind of ruins here, but no, I actually think that's really cool. Then kind of an overview of this neighborhood. Nice park in here. I see maybe you're gonna do some trails or something in here. I like this lake. An idea would be maybe to have a bigger lake in here and then maybe like a little waterfall or a stream connecting them. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so far so good. Just keep it up. Hello, my name is Matt. I'm an upper year architectural engineering student. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to start picking and choosing the builds that I showcase and give feedback for. But if you don't want me to potentially review your build, go to this Discord link and go to this channel. So that's all for this episode. I'm going to try and record another one relatively soon, although these videos take quite a long time to produce. So if you don't mind clicking like, just for the effort, I guess, it helps boost it in the algorithm. And then it just helps me be a little bit more motivated to make another one. So until the next video, go to the link in the description to the Cube Community Discord, and then go to that channel that I showed you at the very start of the video and post your builds there. Or you can go on the Cube website, apply for Builder 1, go to /Warp Terra, and then as a Builder 1 rank after your application is accepted, then you can build in Terra. Just make sure to follow the theme of each area. And once your build is complete, I prefer complete builds, go back to /Warp Terra, go up the stairs right behind the desk, and then just place a sign with the coordinates and your name. So that's all for this video, and I will see you next time.